there's this interesting thing that happened, I think, in the last decade or so, whereby formerly, I'm simplifying this a little bit, but formerly it's almost as though there were two different kinds of arenas of discourse. One which was casual and unpolished and spontaneously social, and another that was more rigorous and reflective and refined. And that was the published media, right? Published discourse. Not to say that it was all of great quality, but it had to go through a certain amount of, it had to be put through a filter of a certain amount of editorial reflection in order to then emerge within the public sphere. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me that what the event of social media did is take these two arenas and just collapse them together. So all of a sudden, everything we do in this virtual landscape is published, in effect. So all of these casual social discourses, which are often bumbling and fraught with mistakes and fraught with a certain amount of social clumsiness and improvisation, all of a sudden are lifted to this publishable medium.
Right.
And the collapsing of those two worlds is something that I think perhaps we were not prepared for. And we're still trying to negotiate through it. And I have to say, these conversations that you've been having and with John and with all of these other interlocutors are probably the first example I have seen whereby the collapsing together of those two worlds has availed itself in service of knowing, in service of something valuable. It is the first time I've seen it, which is not to say it's the first time it's happened, because goodness knows I don't see everything.
Yeah.
But that alone just impresses me. It's not sure what to do with it.
I think the thing, the sense of reflection and impression that you're expressing, there's a way in which there's something going on that's different. Mm-hmm. And there's an awareness of, what I'm hearing you say is there's an awareness of something that used to happen historically, but only happened privately, and it took a lot for it to happen publicly if you could get it there. And once it was public, it was so framed in a sense that the awareness of being in the public was integral to the message, right? And then all of a sudden you're saying, what does it mean to have a clumsy conversation that was always already presupposed as private on some pretty much every respect, to be in a moment be broadcasted literally for everyone's consumption in the moment, but then to have that moment to be able to be played over again through history at anybody's own. This is other dimension, which is really interesting, is that it's not TV, right? Where you could miss it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's not like an event. It's a record of conversations that historically have always been this enactment, right? Of anything, because that's the thing about conversation, is I don't even know what I'm going to say. That's what makes it private, I would imagine, because public is always, you had a speech or you had some kind of presentation, or at least you controlled the scene enough to be in consideration that you knew what you were going to say, so you can manage the listening or speak into the listening or something.